everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the Tamiya Astute 2022 online build. If you were with us in part 2 of this build, you know we worked on the front end, suspension, shocks, and steering system. In this video, we're wrapping up the build with the electronics install, wheel and tire assembly, as well as painting, stickering, and mounting the body. Alright, let's get to it. If you remember, in part 1 we talked about sponge tape versus the sponge sheet. Well, now it's time to use the sponge tape. Make sure these little 3mm nuts are fully seated before tightening the screw. Pay close attention to these mount screws. You'll need to note the direction so that you can insert the body clips easily. The Astute 2022 requires a low-profile servo. The only servo I had in my spare electronics box was this KST DS1509MG. This servo sports metal gears and a speed of 0.07 with a monstrous torque rating of 451 ounces. Both of these are well above the stats we would suggest for this buggy. Yeah, a bit overkill for sure. Attach the servo saver slightly offset. See the manual for the correct orientation. Build the drag link. And why yes, that is one of those cool CompetitionX turnbuckle building tools. For more info, check out the link in the description. Pay close attention to the orientation of the servo mounts. Also, don't tighten these screws all the way just yet. We need a little wiggle room at the moment. Once you get the servo mounted to the chassis, you can tighten up the 4 8mm servo screws. So, wiring up the ESC. This becomes a pretty major project with quite a bit of disassembly of the rear end of the Astute. It can probably be done without tearing the car apart, but chances are you'll hit some part of the plastic with your soldering iron and melt stuff. It's worth it to take the extra time to pull it apart and get the wires soldered in correctly. Another quick mod I made was to cut a channel into the cross brace to allow the wires to run under it and not impede the installation or removal of the battery. This gives the Astute a little cleaner look in the wiring department. The receiver was mounted in place, per the manual, and the wires for the servo and ESC routed to it. It looks a bit odd at the moment, but once the driver figure is installed, you'll see the method to my madness. This also helps keep the wires away from the battery installation as well. Once I pull the wiring up and add a couple zip ties, it somewhat hides the wiring and helps prevent it from interfering with the battery. Electronics install complete. Your install will probably look quite different depending on what electronics you use, but this is a general idea of how they should look. The procedure for installing the tires on the wheels varies from person to person. Just take your time and press them into place. Use some CA glue to bond them together, but be careful. CA bonds fingers just as easily as it does tires. And voila, the chassis of your Astute 2022 is now complete. Awesome job. Take a few moments to enjoy your accomplishment before you move on to the final piece of the puzzle, the body and rear wing. When drilling the holes in the wing and body, I would suggest starting small and test fitting on the car. I like to add a little soapy water solution before applying any decals. This allows me to move the decal around and get it into perfect position. Make sure you wipe the area after with a paper towel to remove any air bubbles and soak up any extra solution. The Astute comes with shims that change the angle of the rear wing. We're starting off with the 8-degree shim angle. Maximum downforce, baby. going to speed through the rest of the body. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just apply the window masks, paint it up, cut it out, and add the decals. Easy peasy. This right here, definitely one of the more satisfying moments, wouldn't you agree? The decals are numbered starting with 1. For best results, it's suggested that you apply them in numerical order. Again, smaller holes are better while test fitting the body. I had a hard time locating the antenna hole from the outside of the body. A quick flipperoo and there it was, right in the crease. Wow, this thing really looks cool once it's all done up. I thought I had an issue with the body fitment, but found out it was just the battery wires in the way. A quick push inside and the body fit like a glove. The fenders are the last thing on the install list. Love them or hate them, you gotta at least install them for photos. We hope you enjoyed this video build series of the Tamiya Astute 2022. If any of these videos helped you, please don't forget to give them a like, it really helps the channel out. Also, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to keep connected with us. We have quite a few more cool kits in the pipeline. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.